Red versus Blue. The dilemma that split the millennial schoolyard into rival factions. On one side, there was a group of children arguing that fire and dragons are the best. On the other side was another group claiming water puts out fire, plus red is a color for girls. The imaginary group of children's words, not mine. Meanwhile, children in Japan sat calmly on the grass and enjoyed their grey non-colored cassettes as if there wasn't a problem in the world. While it's hard to imagine a childhood that wasn't shaped by the iconic designs of the red and blue Gameboy cartridges, this was the case for Japanese fans. Colored game packs did exist in Japan, there were several examples released over the years. But when Nintendo of America redesigned the game packs, Japan didn't do anything differently for their versions of Pokémon Blue and Yellow. Which further proves that it was an active choice by Game Freak to use the grey characteristics to better resonate with the Japanese market. They actually stuck with the grey design all the way up to Gold and Silver, where they chose to darken the shades to indicate that these games were playable on both the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. In fact, it wasn't until Pokémon Crystal that Game Freak decided it was profitable to match the color of the cartridge with the game's name. That's 7 games late to the party. So why is it that Game Freak decided Japan would have preferred the grey design over the American one? Well, there's actually 2 reasons. The first one being because of culture. Many social studies have been made on the cultural differences between the US and Japan. Richard Lewis writes about it in his book, When Cultures Collide. According to his studies, Japanese workplaces value the group over the individual, whereas it's actually more the opposite in the US. Let's apply this logic to the cartridge design. Nintendo of America chose to colorize the full shell to differentiate the cartridge from the competition, aiming for an individualistic design. Meanwhile, the Japanese office decided to stick with the usual grey design, blending in with all the other games consumers already had in their household. The second reason was due to what Japanese fans associated colorized Game Boy cartridges with. While there were some colorized game packs released in Japan, specifically before the Game Boy Color era, they all had something in common. They were either designed for a younger audience, or a feminine one. While Pokémon also was targeted towards kids, the main group Nintendo wanted to reach was the oldest sibling. Their logic was that if we get the older kids to buy the games, then all the younger kids will follow. To further emphasize proof of this marketing strategy, take a look at the first Pokémon commercial shown on TV. The actors holding the consoles are all older children. There's even the traditional sexist choice of a cute girl holding the console, suggesting that by playing Pokémon, you will find a girlfriend. As a 6-year-old, this most likely would have made me want to flush the game down the toilet. Girls are disgusting. But I love you! What did you think of the different designs? It'd be fun to see if there's a single Western soul out there appreciating the Japanese cartridge over the American one. Also, if you found this video interesting, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have any suggestions for what I should take a deep dive into next, tell me about it. Now, I'm going to go catch myself a Celebi. I actually found a way of doing it without glitches. It cost me $62 though, so I guess it's a bit pathetic. I'm gonna let myself out. Okay, bye.